Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A for today. Definitely wanted to get one out for you guys since, of course, it is Sunday. It's our weekly Walking Dead day. I think of it like every Sunday it's like Walking Dead day. No matter whether it's on or not, it doesn't matter. I always think of Walking Dead Sunday nights because I look forward to it so much. First question for this one. This will be a Q&A leading up to the second half of Season 6. And first one is, do I think Lennie James' character Morgan is a long-term survivor? Okay, so that's a really, really great question. I definitely been meaning to do this one for a while, lead off a video talking about this one, doing this one. We've talked about Morgan quite a bit recently. We talked about, whether or not Season 6 has kind of ruined his character, how it affects his character, and how we feel about his character. In this one, we're going to be talking about how long we actually think he's going to survive by himself. Now, for me, this one is a difficult one. Some people have asked me to compare the television series Morgan to the comic book series version, and it's not much of a comparison. The comic book series version of Morgan kind of sucks. Even from the beginning, he doesn't have that feeling like Lennie James's version of Morgan does. So maybe we'll do a video, or that could be another lead for a Q&A, maybe this week or something, where we compare the two of them, and that will contain spoilers for the comic book series version. The television series version has been different than the comic book series version. He wasn't able to come in the same way. He wasn't able to come in as early. He finally kind of arrived at the end of what is Season 5. All throughout Season 5, it's like he's tracking the group, finally gets to them, or maybe was on his way to Terminus and then goes in a different direction, finds a no sanctuary, and kind of goes on from there, realizes that it's too good to be true and decides not to do it, and then finds the map and realizes, holy shit, Rick's still out there, and goes out to find him. Still not clear, 100%. Love to find out an answer to that. If any of you guys go to any of the cons and get a chance to ask any of the the people involved with it a question, where was Morgan going, and you find out an answer, please let me know, because I would love to know exactly if he was going to Terminus or if he was actually trying to find Rick from the start when he left. So is he gonna make it long term? We see him Season 1, we see him quickly Season 3, and then we kind of forget about him for a while. He comes back in Season 5 in the premiere. All throughout Season 5, he's finding them, and in the big episodes, he finally does at the end. So now he's only been in a total of Season 1. Season 3, Rick's mentioned him in Season 2, that kind of deal. Then Season 5, a few parts with the finale is where he finally comes back as a character that's consistently in the show. And Season 6, he's in every episode and has had a lot of time, even more time than Daryl or any of the other kind of more established characters, which makes sense because we've had so much time with them already anyway. And they couldn't really do a flashback for Daryl this time. It would just look weird because Norman Reedus he's clearly not, he doesn't look the same as when the show first started. Even though that'd be cool to see a flashback with Morgan and Merle and Dale at the beginning of the zombie apocalypse or something. That'd be cool. So is he gonna make it in the long term? He's been back in Season 6. He's been a regular since then, and it looks like, from the most part, from what I've seen, he's going to be good for Season 6 up until the finale. He could be the one that is killed off by Negan when Negan makes his appearance. He's one of the top choices people think. I've been hearing recently, still from people, kind of the mass opinion is Morgan's up there, Daryl's up there, Abraham's up there. And these are the main people who we think are going to be killed off in the finale. So I tend to think that Morgan, as much as I wanted him to be a long-term steady survivor, I don't think he's one of those characters like in the comic book series that's still alive to this very point, which is way into the future plus a time skip. I mean, it is way ahead, years ahead. Do I think Morgan is one of those characters that's going to be there years ahead? I think that Lennie James has the acting skills to make that happen, and it would be great to see that. But I don't feel like that's where they're going with his story. I don't feel like that's where they're heading towards with Morgan. I feel like he's probably going to be around for maybe a season, couple seasons, maybe 3 at the max. And then by around the time season 9 or 10 hits, I highly doubt Morgan is still going to be one of our main cast crew, like Michonne, like Rick, like Carl, these types of characters that you're pretty much guaranteed are set through. Daryl is kind of one of those characters that most of us thought was set through, but now we're kind of questioning it. I'm questioning it for sure, but probably wrong, to be honest, because he kind of is one of those safer characters, but they could just be doing it to kind of prove a point and show us. But anyway, he's not the topic of this video. It's mainly Morgan. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. I don't think Morgan is like a long-term survivor. He has been around since the start of the apocalypse, of course, and we've seen him throughout, which has been really cool. So I hope they do keep him on kind of permanently, just like Michonne. But I don't feel like he's there. I don't feel like he fits in that, even though the actor is so good that I think he'll be around longer than what happened with him in the comic book series, which we'll talk about in another video coming up this week. So let's answer a few more kind of random questions from you guys for today. First one's from Trident The Fan, who asks all kinds of great questions, and he says, thanks for me answering his questions. Well, that's because you ask really good questions. If you ask good questions, then I'll use your questions a lot, depending, right? And even sometimes we'll just use whatever, but it depends, but his questions are good. And his first one he says is, how were you introduced to the Walking Dead comics? And I was actually on YouTube when I was introduced to it. I had heard about it. I was reviewing mixed martial arts. I was doing that, which did really well for me, actually, aside from the UFC striking the channel, getting pissed off because they didn't like me talking about the fights and stuff. And I also did action figure reviews, stuff like that, comic books and stuff like that. Walking Dead, when I was big into reading comics, Walking Dead was something I'd heard about. I always loved zombie stuff. Went to the comic book store, saw an issue, grabbed it, and just got absolutely addicted. I was hooked. As soon as I started reading, like the first 6 issues of it, where you see Shane killed at the end, like right off the bat, by Carl, I was like, oh man, they're killing off main characters right off the bat. It was just incredible. I had heard of Invincible too. I had read Invincible, which is Kirkman's other main, he's got a few, but his other like main popular one, and I love Invincible too, so that was kind of where I found out. I just kind of found a local comic book shop, but heard about it on YouTube and online prior, because I love comic books. I still love comic books. It's just sometimes I have trouble taking some seriously because they'll kill off certain characters and then they'll bring them back to life and then they'll do it again. And it's just regular comics, Marvel and DC, a lot of them are a mess. They're a mess. You get one writer, then you get another writer, then we're supposed to take this seriously with another writer, then they reboot the whole thing and you start all over again. Then this is Wolverine, but it's not the same Wolverine because the Wolverine before was written by this person. Now Wolverine acts this way because he's written by this. They're a mess. They're a mess. So I love them, but that's my big thing. And so one of the reasons why I love The Walking Dead so much is because you have Kirkman writing all the way through. There's no confusion about the characters. You know who the characters are. You don't get different takes on them, like one person's Wolverine versus another person's Wolverine, or Batman versus Batman 50 years ago or something. It's clean. It makes sense. It all makes it all fits together as a piece, rather than as a broken jigsaw puzzle that you have to put together, where your version of Batman or Wolverine or whatever character you like, how you see them, because each one is different. Sometimes Batman shoots a gun. Other times he'll never touch a gun because of what happened to his parents. This kind of deal, right? So that's the problem when it gets almost diluted, or it gets just chaotic with the amount. So anyway, without going off onto a tangent too much, that's kind of where that came from. And then next from him was also, do you think Garret Dillahunt will still appear in the future Walking Dead seasons? So he had posted something to Twitter that he was reading some of the Walking Dead compendium. I think it was Compendium 3 he was reading, or was it 2 or 3, something like that, and maybe 2. And a lot of us thought he was Negan at that time. I wasn't sure, but I thought, it made a lot of sense, and he's a great actor with a lot of history. We end up finding out he's not. Maybe, I wonder if he tried out for it or something, and they were like, he's good, but maybe not exactly what we want. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan was like, exactly. However, there's a high possibility that he could be one of the saviors that we're going to see in the show. Could be one of Negan's men, right? Because Negan, of course, he has tons of men, and Dwight can't be the only one at the front. Garret Dillahunt, another actor, you can Google him, Garret, Garret Dillahunt, so his last name. You can Google him, and he may be another one of Negan's generals or leaders, or this kind of deal, one of his important people that we may see him with in the TV series. So we'll see how that goes. Either that, or maybe he's just a fan. Maybe he just really likes The Walking Dead. Guess we'll wait and see. Find out if he's going to be in it or not. I hope so, because he seemed like he's a really good actor. Next one's from RiotnRespect, and he says, hey Trev, this is a bit off topic, but do you ever find it weird that thousands of people feel like they personally know you and you don't know them from a homeless guy on the street? I find the power of the internet to be a blessing and a curse. Well, for me, do I find it weird? I don't know. I don't think it's weird. It's cool. I think to me it's cool because I look at most of you guys as my friends. I know a lot of the names. I know your name, RiotnRespect, or at least your YouTube handle name. I know Trident The Fan, like he asked another question. I know a lot of the same people that have been watching the channel for many, many years, what country they're from, this kind of thing, if they send me messages and they're active in the channel. So that's cool. It's a little bit, it throws me off a little bit when I go to do stuff in real life and people recognize me from the channel. That's weird to me. That's happened to me twice, when I got my oil changed and when I bought a guinea pig for Jess from PetSmart. One of the guys is one of my subscribers. So that's funny. One of the guys who was there was one of you guys. It's one of you subscribers. So that's funny. But yeah, it throws me off a little bit. But I always look forward to, one day I want to go to Comic-Con, and that'll be cool because we'll see if there's a lot of people there that notice me or know who I am or anything like that. But it's always different too when you see someone in real life. They don't look the same as when they do on camera. And it's like this, it's like, it's just different. But I look forward to doing that stuff in the future when I eventually do get time. It'll be really cool. But it's fun, man. And I look at you guys as friends. I don't look at you guys as fans or followers or, your viewers, yeah, but you're like my friends too, which is awesome. You guys are really important to me. I want you guys to know that. Next one's from Toyboat Toyboat, and he says, are you a fan? Because we talked a little bit about success and working out stuff the other day. I won't go into it too long because I know a lot of you guys hate that stuff. Are you a fan of Brian Tracy, Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins? I am. I enjoy your videos on life advice that you upload every now and then. Once in a while, I mix it up a little bit here and there. Do you plan on uploading more? I love if you did. Maybe that's something I can do in the future. Do like a top 5 success coaches, that kind of thing. I could count down my top 5 favorites. But you've got 2 of them in here. It's Brian Tracy and Tony Robbins. Absolutely, I've got a good number of their books on my bookshelf. And Brian Tracy is probably my favorite. He's a monster. If you guys don't know who Brian Tracy is, and you're interested, if you want to be, well, let's just say it, if you want to be successful in your life, and you never studied success, Brian Tracy is, and well, Tony Robbins too, and Bob Proctor's awesome too. I've seen him on YouTube too. They're awesome. You can read their books. You can buy them $10, $20, and literally, if you follow the principles in one of Brian Tracy's books, it can change your whole life. So I love their stuff, man. My favorite's probably Brian Tracy. Tony Robbins is right up there too. There's lots of them that are just amazing, man. It's great stuff to learn and learn what makes people succeed and what makes people lose, fail, right? It's cool to learn and know, and definitely they're awesome. They're all awesome, and I'm a big fan of them. Yeah. Next one is Voidwalkers, and he says, "Hey Trev, I'm not sure how often you answer your subscriber questions, so I'll ask one now. I was just wondering if you know about people who make edits of The Walking Dead on YouTube/Vine, and if you do you like them?" Or think they're stupid? I don't know. So basically, what are your opinions on them? Thanks. I don't know many of people who do like. There's some Walking Dead music videos which I like. I like some Dragon Ball. I really love Dragon Ball anime music videos. They really are really cool to watch because it's got such great action and stuff like that. But there's a few on YouTube that are good. Infinity, that's his name, I think. That's his name. I haven't seen him for a while, but he sometimes watches videos. I think he subscribes. He comments sometimes. He does some really good, Walking Dead animated like music or Walking Dead music videos. Like I guess is what I would call them. That kind of deal. And there's another one, Jennifer. Is it Jennifer X something like that? Yeah, it's been a while. That's since I've seen it. But that one, she does some good ones too. But I don't know anybody who does like vines or who does like memes or anything like that. No, I don't know anybody personally who makes them. But I think they're funny to look at. And sometimes when you guys link them to me, I think they're funny. Next one's from this one over here, and he says, "Hey Trev, got a question for a Q&A. Given what we know from spoilers about Negan's appearance in the finale for Season 6, do you think it would be cool if the Season 7 premiere was a full flashback episode of Negan's life from start of the apocalypse, going through all the horrors he has seen, done that will lead him up to the point where we first see him? Add in some of the movie horror music that we saw from this season's premiere, and it could make for an amazing episode. We know some main character is supposed to die, so the end of the premiere could be the big reveal of who is what got Lucille, or who gets Lucille." From this one over here. That would be such an awesome premiere, but I don't think they would do it for a premiere, even though if they put a lot of effort into it, it could be an epic type of flashback where you go over through time from his perspective as he goes through. but I don't think they would do it because for your premiere, they want people to feel like they're watching the original Walking Dead. They don't want them to feel like they're watching Fear, which has a new character that they don't really know. They would probably do a flashback after a few episodes, just like they did with season 6. Probably no flashbacks in the first or second episodes. It'd probably be a few episodes in or in the second half or something, kind of thrown in there. But, they can mix it in well like they did with Morgan. I think that would be amazing to see that with Negan, to see his perspective. I always wish we could have seen that with the governor. That would have added to the governor, I think. If people knew his story, like some people read the novels, they tell me, "Oh, read them, Trev." Maybe I will at some point. But they say, if people were able to get that perspective of where he starts from to where he goes when we first meet him and why he's evil, that really adds a lot to his perspective of how he got there. Even the Terminus characters got a little bit of that with a little bit of a flashback, but it didn't do much for us because of what they do. But it would have been really cool to see that with the governor, and I'd love to see that with Negan. I hope we do. I think they'll probably do it. It makes perfect sense to me. They'll do it at some point. And let's do let's do one more because we're at 15 minutes. This one's from Zazman Reviews, and he says, "Hey Trev, I've got a question. Do you think you'll be able to review the new TV show Legends of Tomorrow, which is premiering January 21st? Review the premiere at least. It's a very comic booky type of show with a lot of time travel included and some comedy elements. I'm very excited for it, and it's the newest comic book television series and possibly a TV series of the Justice League, or at least the first step towards a possible Justice League TV show in the future. Anyways, I know you're into comic book types of shows such as Gotham and Walking Dead, which is based on the comic, but not a comic booky show. I really enjoy your videos. Keep up the amazing work." See, from Zazman Reviews. There's another guy who, I think it's a guy, so the Fallen channel for a super long time, asked a lot of questions. Love it. So another great question from him, Legends of Tomorrow. I probably will check that out. Will I review it? If it's good. I don't really like to review stuff that sucks. Sometimes I'll do reviews that suck, but it ends up pissing off people who search something on YouTube, even if it's Under the Dome or something like that. They search it because they like it. If they don't like it, they're not going to search it. So if I do a video where if I do a review for a new show and I just talk about how bad it sucks if it's really weak, people are just going to thumb it down. They're going to get pissed off. They're not going to like it. They're going to get mad at me, right? They're not going to like me because I'm bashing their show that they just searched. And they seem to like it even if it's not very good. So I'll watch it for sure. I'll review it if it's decent to good. I tend to not review stuff that's absolutely terrible because it pisses people off. That's all there is to it. People don't Google stuff that they really hate. Well, most of the time, unless they really, really hate it. And they are masochistic or something and they want to search something they don't like for hours. I don't know. Anyway, that's it for today's. Hope you guys have a good one. Enjoy your Sunday. And we'll probably do... I've been meaning to do a flashback for No Sanctuary, a throwback review for the longest time, and I'll probably do one. I'm going to aim for next Sunday night. It makes sense, right? Walking Dead night, probably do a throwback review. We got time for it now. It's a little bit till it comes back, so I think that's what we'll do. Anyway, keep sending me your guys' questions. Now is the best time of the year to ask because they'll probably get into the video. And if you liked this video, you can thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, you can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for today. So I'll see you guys again really soon. Maybe tomorrow. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace.